San Bernardino, we're ready for some Little League baseball. The Northwest Regional starts now. Alaska, Oregon next. Welcome to San Bernardino. Al Houghton Stadium is the site on the road to the Little League World Series. It's game number 1 in the Northwest region. Beaverton, Oregon, taking on Juneau, Alaska. Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Bender alongside the former Major League closer, Greg Olson. Glad you're with the state champs here, but each had a different path to San Bernardino.
Well, Oregon got here via Beaverton, and they've been playing real well. A team built on chemistry, 7 straight wins in district.
And Alaska, meanwhile, they had some food poisoning they had to deal with.
Yeah, they ran into a bout of food poisoning after they won the state championship, and coming from Juneau, 61 degrees there right now.
They're going to deal with the heat maybe a little bit here, as we'll be over 100 degrees in San Bernardino. When you talk about these two teams, Northwest rivals, Northwest region play, the Beaverton, Oregon team is a squad on the northeastern part of the state, and they're expecting to come up with some big runs here in game 1, and it's a double elimination format, this matchup.
Well, Oregon's been playing really well, and if you talk about peaking at the right time, they have peaked at the right time.
Well, you look at Beaverton, Oregon, a team that won 7 straight games in district, great chemistry. A long trip down here, but hoping to get off on the right footing. Alaska, meanwhile, a superstitious bunch.
They are a superstitious bunch. We'll show their mascot in the dugout during the game, but they came from Juneau. The only way to get off of Juneau is boat or plane.
And they're down here in the desert ready for some baseball. It's game 1, Northwest Region play in San Bernardino, Oregon and Alaska. First pitch coming up next from Al Houghton Stadium. Northwest Region play gets started in San Bernardino. Game 1, it's Gastineau Channel Little League out of Juneau, Alaska against Murray Hill Little League from Beaverton, Oregon. Already we've seen a West Region victory for Hawaii over Arizona. As we look at the batting order for Oregon, the visitors from Beaverton, great chemistry as they put together that winning streak en route to the state championship. Gunnar Gustafson playing and hitting in the third spot in the order. Ingalls is the assistant coach's son, and he's key in the cleanup spot, playing third base. And I'm going to face a guy in Caleb Campbell who's a hitter and a good pitcher, big Cubs fan. He believes in a couple rows of eye black, amongst other things, out there on the mound.
Oh, you got to love that. He's got to come in, throw strikes, get ahead early, and see if he can get his team out at the plate as soon as possible.
A look at the squad defensively around Campbell. Baxter, a tall catcher. He'll provide a big target. You see number 17 behind the dish. And Buss in center field. He is the manager's son. Kean Buss playing out there, can cover a lot of ground. And of course, we've seen how important middle infield play is, and the spotlight will be on Araujo and Krupe. Araujo and Krupe at shortstop and at second base. The Alaska team from Juneau, you mentioned you can't get there by car. Good brand of baseball played up there when the weather is nice enough in the state of Alaska.
Well, it's a beautiful 61 degrees in Juneau right now, and it's roaming close to 100 degrees. You can see the Alaska fans trying to gear them up a little bit, and I'd be sitting on the bench right now trying to gear them down because they've been building up to this moment for a while.
Aaron Ray Simpson to lead things off, and the first pitch misses for ball one. Ralph Metz is calling balls and strikes. David Burt, Jeff Thompson, and David DeRosa around the infield. Big Buster Posey fan.
Well, it was kind of interesting to start the game. We had a lineup, and then right before the game started, we had a lineup switch. And the coach switched the 1- and 2-hole hitters, Simpson and Kellen Wood. And it's just kind of one of those funny things where he probably sat there and stewed on it all night, and then he was like, oh, I'm switching them up.
Coach's prerogative, made the move late. 2-1 now.
Well, this is not the start that they were looking from Caleb Campbell. Aaron Simpson's probably sitting up there taking a pitch the whole way, as you do as the leadoff hitter of the game.
There's a strike, 3-1. He has lightning speed if he gets on base. We're number one, an apropos number. And he draws the walk, so they have speed on the base paths to open things up here.
Well, it's a hard spot right now. You know, you're Caleb Campbell, you're nervous, you're edgy. You know, everybody's behind you, counting on you to come out. And it's hard for somebody that's 12 years old to get over the nerves. And you saw it in the strike zone. The only strike he threw was 3-0. Let's see if he can get back on track right here.
Here's another Buster Posey fan, Kellen Wood, the catcher. Strike on the inside corner.
Is Buster from Beaverton, Oregon? Closest catcher?
I'd have to look that up.
All right.
Strike at the knees, 0-2.
Well, that looked like that might have woke Caleb Campbell up. Usually by the time I walk somebody, you start to figure out, all right, relax. I've already walked the first guy, so the perfect game's over with. Let's just relax and start throwing some strikes.
Oh, and he's inside with that one, and taking second is Simpson. Thought for a moment that might have hit Wood. It did not. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that was strange. Caleb Simpson threw his first breaking ball of the day right over the middle of the plate. No, I guess it was up and in. It was the proverbial backup slider. Chased Kellen Wood out of the box.
To answer your question earlier, Buster Posey is from Leesburg, Georgia, so they're just Buster Posey fans for this Oregon team.
That's close to Beaverton, Oregon.
Yeah. Hop, skip, and a jump, right? Here's the 1-2 to Wood. Chased one off the plate and got a piece of it. Did he get a piece?
Oh, he swung. It's strike three. It doesn't matter.
It was into the catcher's glove anyway, and there's out number one. He had a look of confusion on his face. He'll head to the dugout.
he has the same look of confusion as I do. It's a great fastball down and away. Sounded like he foul-tipped it a little bit, and I think Kellen Woods just shocked that he caught that Thomas Baxter caught it.
Yeah, Baxter did a good job keeping it off the dirt there. Yeah, and there's one down. Now Gunnar Gustafson, the shortstop. He's the leader of this team. Great leader, not just in terms of his baseball skills, but how he makes everybody better around him.
Well, that's exactly what you want in the 3 spot. Playing shortstop, you want your team guy. And there was a good slider. Aaron Simpson's playing a little bit of games out at second base. He will not go back to the bag, and he's holding his lead as long as he can.
Big cut. 1-2. Gustafson hit a home run in their state championship game, their final game.
Well, he's got a nice swing. Just didn't see that slider very well.
Lays off of that one.
And you could just see the backside of Aaron Simpson at the base runner at second base, waiting for a soft toss back from Thomas Baxter to Caleb Campbell, and he might take off for third.
Swing and a miss, and there's out number 2, strikeout number 2 for Campbell.
Well, after the initial nerves, Caleb Campbell has found his slider, found his fastball away. You can see him kind of shaking everything out, going, okay, here's what I'm supposed to be doing. About time I woke up.
Now the cleanup hitter, Alex Ingalls, with the runner at second. Now he has calmed his nerves after that walk to start things.
He wears the same underwear every game. I'm going to stay away from him on this trip.
Bouncer hit. Oh, it takes a wicked hop past the first baseman, Quinto. Simpson's going to round third and score, and into second safely is Ingalls. That looked like an inning-ending ground out. Took a big hop, and that benefits Oregon. They're up 1-0.
Well, you know what? I'd be wearing the same underwear too if I got this bounces right here. He hits it hard, but it takes a hop that nobody's going to be able to react to. You're teaching your kids to field ground balls and stay down and watch the ball into the glove, and then all of a sudden the ball bounces over your head. You know, there was no chance for a play over there by Quinto.
So break for the Beaverton Murray Hill Little Leaguers. They're up 1-0, and now Elam Young with Ingalls at second.
Nice piece of hitting by Ingalls to go the other way. Good fastball. It's a way to react to a good slider is to stay inside out. Gives you a little bit longer to see the slider. And he hit the ball hard. It just caught a rock, or I don't see too many rocks.
Yeah, they do a good job manicuring this field, but that was definitely to their benefit. Now, ball goes to the backstop, and Ingalls moves up to third base.
Yeah, Caleb Campbell needs to do what he needs to do to shake himself out a little bit here. He thought he was out of the inning, and then he gets the bad hop, and right now as a pitcher, you need to pull yourself together, regroup, get this next out.
Strike on the corner to Young. Young is a strong kid, and coaches think he could be a college wrestler at some point. Says, I'll take you down. He's a very physical kid.
Well, he is not afraid to get hit. He's been leaning into that fastball inside, trying to get hit.
Look at that three-sport guy.
Well, that's what I love about Little League. Everybody plays everything. You work hard. You don't give up on any sports. You never know what you're going to be good at when you're 12 years old.
Big cut, 2-2 now. Dave Winfield, I guess, was a great basketball player and decided to go the baseball route. Pretty good decision, for example, one of the examples.
One of the most physically imposing human beings I've ever had the displeasure of facing.
I'm sure he enjoyed facing you.
Golly.
Here's the 2-2. Oh, that almost got away. Good job by Baxter to get to the baseball.
Yeah, that was another backup slider. Got away from him. Baxter does all he can do to stab at it. But back to Dave Winfield, 6'6", standing in the box. 60 feet does not look close, far enough away.
Right back to the mound. Nice play made by Campbell. And he gets out of the inning. A run across, though. An RBI single from Alex Ingalls. And Oregon leads Alaska 1-0. We're underway in Northwest Region play. Oregon 1, Alaska 0. As we go to the bottom of the first here, Northwest Region play, day 1, game 1. En route to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And Juneau, the Gastineau Channel Little Leaguers show this lineup. Look out for Caleb Campbell, the pitcher in the 3-hole. He had 3 home runs in their state series, swinging the hot stick. And a key piece, as is his battery mate, Thomas Baxter, in the cleanup spot in the order. And they're going to be facing a guy that loves baseball. Zane Garvey cannot wait to get on the field. He pitched in their championship game in the Juneau victory.
Well, good, solid mechanics. Like I said last inning, needs to settle the nerves, go out, throw strike one right now, and find a way to relax and get into your game. And it's so difficult to do when you're 12 years old and you're on this stage.
Defensively, we talked about the speed in center field. We've already seen that showcased at the plate from Aaron Ray Simpson, and he's out there manning that captain's position out in center field. Gustafson and Neely up the middle. And it's a Oregon team that has great chemistry. They haven't really been tested. We talked about the 7-game winning streak in district. They're hoping that will carry over. Already a 1-0 lead here as they face the Alaska Sticks for the first time. So Garvey, who has a name similar to Steve Garvey, former Dodger, is a big fan of Jackie Robinson, former Dodger. Dodger connection a couple different ways there.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the Jackie Robinson note, and that's amazing player, amazing athlete.
Bus rolls it right back to Garvey, 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, that was what I talked about. You want first pitch, best case scenario is a 1-pitch fastball, ground ball back to me on the mound, and I got 1 out. Now I can relax a little bit, and start doing what I normally do, which is throw strikes in a relaxed atmosphere, and we are not in a relaxed atmosphere.
Now Eli Krupe, the second baseman. What are your thoughts on, you'd like to be aggressive early in the count, but that does benefit pitchers. And there's a bouncer up the middle, knocked down by the shortstop. And the throw not made, and reaching safely is Krupe. Gustafson keeps the ball on the infield, but there's a base runner.
Well, Gustafson cuts it off from going into center field. Ball looks like it kicks up a little bit into the heel of his glove. Here it is again, ground ball off the mound, kicks up a little bit on him, he just cannot come up with it clean, get it out of the glove, and just wisely does not double down and make a bad throw.
Infield single is the ruling, and here's Caleb Campbell. One of the veterans at 13, and has to be playing with some confidence after those 3 home runs in the state. Hits a fly ball to right field, shallow right, coming in is Hicks, and he makes the play, 2 down.
Well, really nice start by Zane Garvey, getting a couple early first pitch outs. Best way to keep your pitches down to a minimum in these innings when you so quickly run out of pitches. He's at 5 right now with 2 outs.
Now Thomas Baxter. Strike 1. Fan of tacos, that's his favorite food. And they call him Smalls, though he's not small at 6 foot 157.
Little play on Little Big League. Sandlot, excuse me. Little Big, oh my gosh, I can't believe I blew that one. Smalls.
You can't go wrong with either one there.
No.
Fouls that back to the screen, 1 and 2. Best sports moment for Baxter, the guy at the plate. Winning state in both wrestling and baseball.
Well, that's thoroughly impressive, winning it in wrestling. It's a long road to do that.
Hits it hard on the ground to Arujo, or to Gustafson at short, and he throws out Baxter to end the inning. So a single and a runner stranded. 1-0, Oregon leads Alaska. We head to the second inning at Al Houghton Stadium. Northwest Regional opening round play in San Bernardino, Oregon, in front of Alaska 1-0 through 1 inning of play. Focused on fun, fitness, and fundamentals, the Little League journey starts with T-ball. Visit littleleague.org/T-ball for our free 10-week practice plan to keep the youngest Little Leaguers moving, having fun, and learning the games of baseball and softball. Well, a fortuitous hop off the bat of Alex Ingalls, the reason for our 1-0 game here. And now Oregon will try to build off the momentum of that inning as Zane Garvey was scheduled to lead off. And Ryan Boggs is going to hit in Garvey's spot in the order. So they go to the pinch hitter here in the second inning. Big cut from Boggs, strike 1.
It's really an interesting Zane Garvey being your pitcher. So you're going to have to sub Garvey back in, and at some point Boggs is going to have to get 2 innings in the field.
Big Oregon State fan. What a program they have there in Corvallis.
I'm sure these guys have seen a lot of good college baseball over the years that coming out of there.
How about this for an active kid? Plays baseball, fishes, hunts, rides his bike, video gaming, hangs with friends on top of all that. Three and one.
Well, this is what we saw a little bit out of Caleb Campbell in the first inning. Got him in a little bit of a trouble with the leadoff walk of the inning. He's struggling a little bit again with his command. Nice mound visit by Thomas Baxter, the catcher. It's what you love to see. The leadership of him walking out going, hey, settle in, throw me a strike. Everything's fine, let's go. Or he might even be telling him a joke about what he did on Fortnite last night. Dude, you remember
you
remember when I killed that guy in Fortnite last night? Come on, just like that. Or it could have been chicken and beef tacos.
3-1. Boggs goes opposite towards the first baseman, and to the bag unassisted with a good play is Quinto, and that's out number one.
Well, whatever Thomas Baxter said worked perfectly. Nice fastball away, routine ground ball to your first baseman. One out.
I'm sure you've had catchers say all the right things to you as you're out there on the mound in your time with the Orioles and Diamondbacks and others. Calming influence behind the dish.
Yeah, or some comical jokers coming out and talking to you.
Here's Carson Reed now. Strike one. He's a big Anthony Rizzo fan, loves the Cubs. And that's a good choice for favorite movie. I would imagine that's the original, right?
I would hope that's original. Wanamaker, head coach. Oh, Buttermaker. I screwed up again. It's like I haven't seen a baseball movie before.
Well, that was the Astrodome one, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I went to the Astrodome and got it done. Two and one.
I wouldn't mind seeing Thomas Baxter back there holding the frame for just a little bit longer. He's coming up quick and firing it back.
Bouncer hit to short. Araujo in time. 2 down.
Well, good things happen when you throw strikes. Good fastball, middle of the plate down. Routine ground ball to shortstop. Well played. Here it is again. 2-hop ground ball. Araujo takes his time, makes a perfect strike throw to first base. 2 outs. We're going to have another pinch hitter, Trey.
With me, Alex Stinson, who will hit in Neely's spot in the order, the 8th spot.
It's kind of interesting. We saw this last game with Hawaii and Arizona, where the Hawaii coach in the first inning pinch hit, and now we're watching Oregon. It's already pinch hit for their pitcher, pinch hitting for their 8th spot, Neely, and they're getting these guys their substitution time in really early in the game.
Well, I guess the thinking is if your best players are out there in the latter innings at the plate, that could benefit you. If you have the luxury of having the lead here, why not take a chance with that?
Yeah, that's an interesting theory, and you know, the only other thing I can think of is, hey, you know what, you got a couple guys that are almost equal at the plate, and now I don't know for sure, but let's give Stinson an at-bat, and if he gets a hit, then we'll probably let him run a little bit and get another at-bat. Or, you know, if he struggles at the plate, then he's got his at-bat and his substitution is in.
Hits that off the end of the bat, foul.
Love the hustle by Thomas Baxter. Foul ball, 25 feet away from him, runs over, sprints to get it. And you were worried about Alaska in the heat, Trey.
Yeah, not fazed by it, obviously. They don't care if it's 61 up there. Here's the 1-2, kind of a half swing. He fools him and strikes him out. So an impressive inning for Campbell. 1-2-3 goes Oregon. Still a 1-0 game. It'll be the middle part of the order coming up for the Juneau kids. Next, now 1-0. Beaverton, Murray, Hill Little Leaguers leading the Juneau Gastineau Channel Little Leaguers 1-0, bottom of the second inning here in San Bernardino as we're underway in Northwest Region play. An RBI single from Alex Ingalls is the difference in this one. And Zane Garvey will go to work facing the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Kason Ludman to lead things off.
Zane Garvey with 9 pitches in the first inning. Very effective. Did a great job after giving up a single up the middle. Settled in, throws strikes. It's a way to stay in the game longer. Throw strikes, get ahead, get them out.
Leads off Ludman with a fastball for strike one. Favorite food, salad. Didn't say which kind. There's a one hopper to the third baseman, and across in time, Ingalls to retire Ludman, one down.
Back to work, Zane Garvey, fastball away, strike one. Fastball down in the zone, gets a ground ball to a very shallow Alex Ingalls at third base. Prepared to take away the bunt. Now, neither one of these teams probably have any sort of scouting report on the other guys, but third baseman Ingalls is way in.
There's Caden Quinto now. Quinto says, yeah, winning the state championship was big, but the other best sports moment, hitting my first home run in Cooperstown, New York. How about that for a thrill?
Oh, that's awesome. Looks like Zane Garvey has broke out a little bit of a curveball or a changeup, something much slower than his 67, 68 mile an hour fastball. He's throwing that at 50.
Now, it's probably never too early to rely on some of your superstitions. In this Alaska group, a superstitious bunch, they've got a lucky dragon in their dugout. It's been referenced in the bios.
What's his name?
Tomato Mo Lettuce. And that's one of the superstitions. Rub the dragon before the game and before at-bats. And they'll go to that if they need it. And there's ball 4. And Quinto's aboard with that one-out walk.
Tomato Mo Lettuce.
That's it.
You know what, I mean, to be honest with you, hey, if you got a good superstition, you got to keep going to it. I'm walking by the dragon every inning, giving it a little notch or a head dab or whatever you need to do.
A lucky red dragon in that dugout. Here's Antone Arujo now, who had a nice play defensively last half inning.
Zane Garvey has shown a lot of respect, a lot of breaking balls and changeups so far. We haven't seen very many fastballs this inning.
Chopper, shortstop on the short hop, can't make the throw. Gustafson waited for the short hop there. By the time the baseball got to him, no throw could be made, and the speeder of Arujo gets him on board.
Gustafson looked like he took his eye off the ball right here to see if he had a play at second base. And by the time he popped up, it had cuffed him a little bit, and there was nowhere to go with the ball.
Nerves there with a base runner. Maybe the speed affected. He knows how fast Arujo is.
Well, I think he was looking to see if he had a play at second base, and by taking his eye off the ball cuffed him a little bit, then he didn't have a play anywhere. And to be honest with you, as short as the bases are, he would have had to come and play that on the real short hop and try to get the out at one on more of a running throw than sitting back. He's not going to get anything.
It's ruled an infield single for Arujo, who's out there now. 2 base runners and 1 down.
I am not sure what the Oregon coach is out discussing at second base. Didn't look like there was any interference, any impeding by the runners. Not quite sure.
A quick clarification. Here's Christian Nelson now with an RBI chance.
So Riley Duncan's going to run at second base for Quinto.
Nelson fouls off the first one. There's Duncan.
All right, Right now, I'd love to see Zane Garvey get back to work with his fastball. He was nibbling quite a bit with his off-speed stuff.
Bouncer hit to second. Neely flips to second for the force play, and they retire Arujo. Now runners on the corners, 2 down. Good play there by Neely. Had time to make that play.
That was a great play by Neely. You usually don't see a second baseman come in and attack the ball and still be able to swing real quick to second base and almost throw over the runner's shoulder. That was a bang-bang play. Gutsy call by Neely to go there, but you know, you would like to see him think about that. It just doesn't happen very often at this age.
Now Alaska looks like they're going to bring in a pinch hitter here or a pinch runner.
You got me on that one.
It's like a pinch hitter.
Sean Oliver.
Oliver will hit for Vidal.
A lot of early pinch hitters, a lot of movement going on right now.
So runners on the corners, 2 down. Alaska can tie this one up with a single possibly. Pitch to Oliver. Fouls it off.
So with Alaska with first and third, 2 outs, you're down 1 run. I want to see if they might create movement over at first base. See if Arujo will steal and what kind of play Oregon might make. Throw it through.
0-2 now to Bozo, as they call him.
I was like, Trey, really? You just call this kid a Bozo?
He's also a big Mookie Betts fan, trying to keep this inning going. 0-2, foul ball, first base side.
Well, with 2 strikes, I definitely want, as a coach in Little League, I definitely want to create movement. Take a chance on getting a run with 2 strikes. You know, your hitter's in a deep hole. Try to steal a run somehow.
Right back to the mound. Flip to second, and the force play ends the inning. So Garvey to Gustafson to retire the runner Nelson and end the inning. We're through 2 frames. Good pitching so far and excellent defense. Oregon in front of Alaska, 1-0. Oregon with a run in the first, and that has stood up so far as the Beaverton Little Leaguers lead Alaska 1-0, top half of the 3rd inning. The Little League Grow the Game grant initiative has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball, challenger division, and urban initiative programs. For more info, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. So some good pitching and defense so far from Caleb Campbell and Zane Garvey. Campbell was going to be facing a pinch hitter here, Ben Carlton, to open up the 3rd inning. Campbell has a couple strikeouts, had a unfortuitous bounce from his perspective resulted in an RBI single in that first inning. First pitch, liner, Carlton into the glove of Arujo, 1 down.
Ben Carlton just walking straight off the bench. First pitch he sees. Line drive to shortstop. And Arujo just didn't have to do much to get at it. Jumped up a little bit. And the funny part was the second baseman, Krupe, was jumping with him, going, get up, get up.
Now the top of the order, Aaron Ray Simpson showing bunt, and he fouls it off. That's one way to get on with that lightning speed. We've seen it already down the line. He walked, scored a run first time up. In a hole now, 0-2.
Campbell throwing that slider. Really good depth on it, which means it's breaking straight down. And to do that, you have to roll your fingers from the side to the front of the ball and create a more of a topward spin.
Oh, that's inside, 1-2. They ask Simpson if he has a favorite band or singer. He said no preference.
No preference.
And he strikes out, and that's out number 2.
Oh, that's funny.
That is 4 Ks now for Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell struggled early, but here you see his slider that I spoke about, and has a lot of depth on it, which breaking straight down. More sliders tend to break away from the right-handed hitter. He actually gets to the front of the ball, creates more of a downward spin.
Kellen Wood struck out his first time up. Ball 1. Well, you mentioned this earlier. Wood likes to play Fortnite Battle Royale with his friends.
I like playing Fortnite Battle Royale. I mean, you're on the mic with everybody, you're screaming, telling people to do stuff.
There's a one-hopper, and that gives the first baseman all kinds of trouble, and Quinto can't make the play in time. That really bothered him as Wood is on. Let's take a look here.
Well, you can see Wood just gets it off the end of the bat, and Quinto over at first base couldn't decide whether he should try to dive for the ball or play it on a hop, and he actually got an in-between hop and kind of ate him up, and really wasn't much he could do after it came off of his body.
Error there on the first baseman, and here's Gunnar Gustafson.
Well, Oregon benefited from a break in the first, getting a bad hop over at first base. And I hope that Caden Quinto can move past that one, because the first one was not his fault at all. I mean, you got here early. Weren't you playing Fortnite Battle Royale with a couple of your guys?
I didn't partake. There's a pitch driven to right center field. Backing up is a center fielder, Bus, and he makes the catch in front of the track to end the inning. Hard hit baseball, but nothing across for Oregon as we head to the bottom of the third inning. 1-0. Beaverton, Murray Hill Little Leaguers in front here in San Bernardino. One 0 Oregon leading Alaska, bottom of the third. This is game 1 in Northwest Region play en route to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Catch all the excitement of the Little League World Series, including how to visit Williamsport. Scores, stats, highlights, and more. Visit littleleague.org or follow along on social media with hashtag LLWS. The concession stands are being attended right now by the youngsters. I noticed that here in the lunch hour.
Well, I've already had one root beer float. Probably get a second one after this game.
You've mentioned Icy to me about 4 times already.
Yeah. Such a great venue. Got the funnel cakes out in right field.
I haven't seen the
root beer float over first base.
Haven't seen the ice cream man yet. Here's Kean Buss leading off the inning, the leadoff hitter for Alaska.
Hit a first pitch ground ball back to Zane Garvey in the first inning. Now he's getting to see a couple more pitches. Zane Garvey was at 24 pitches starting this inning, which is phenomenal. You as a coach, so worried about pitch counts, and your starting pitcher goes out with an average of 12 pitches an inning.
1-2 to Buss. That just missed. 2-2. Big Mariners fan. Kean Buss. He wants to meet Elon Musk. Back to the mound. Off the mound, Garvey. 1 down.
Really nice play by Zane Garvey to jump off that mound, become a fielder, good athlete. Well played. That took him 6 whole pitches, Trey.
A little efficiency out there from these two guys so far, right?
It really has been a well-pitched game. You know, both pitchers have good off-speed stuff, and they've shown it a lot, and then they use enough fastballs to keep everybody honest. And Kellen Wood framed that one. Ooh, Kellen, don't turn around and look at the home plate umpire. They do not like that. That'll be my piece of advice for the day to Kellen.
Juneau now. You're talking about Ralph Metz standing right behind the catcher.
Kellen Wood has held those last 2 pitches for a long time. That one he knew was a ball. The other 2, he was like going, maybe if I hold it just a little bit longer.
Got to sell it, right? You're saying you can sell it too much.
And home plate umpire Metz is probably sitting back there, throw the ball back.
There's a strike on the corner, 3-1.
Zane Garvey's been throwing so well. I'd like to see another fastball right here. Just challenge him. At some point when you nibble around and you get 3-1 counts, you got to throw a fastball. And he came with a changeup or something off speed.
Second walk given up by Zane Garvey. And the Juneau kids have a base runner here with 1 down. And now it brings up the dangerous hitter in Caleb Campbell. Campbell has power. Can hit the long ball.
Another off-speed pitch by Garvey. You know, the problem with throwing so many off-speed pitches is that the hitter starts changing their focus and they start looking for that. And if it's not a very effective off-speed pitch, then you get in trouble.
Flare out behind second on the right field grass. Making the play is Neely, and 2 down.
And Caleb Campbell got a fastball away, just missed it, popped up. Nice job by Christian Neely to run out into right field. He's the only one that can get to that ball.
Now Garvey will face the cleanup hitter Thomas Baxter with 2 away. Strike 1. Best thing about playing Little League, according to Baxter, hitting dingers. Keep it simple.
Yep. Well, Ralph Metz behind the plate, home plate umpire, has done a really nice job of not calling the fastball away. That is just about 3 or 4 inches off the plate, no matter what Kellen Wood is going to, how long he's going to hold that ball.
That's hammered into left field. A solid base hit for Baxter. He jumped all over that one.
Good swing, gets the fastball middle of the plate and hits this ball about as hard as you can hit a ball. One hops the left fielder, Young. He does a nice job of keeping the ball in front. Drops down to a knee.
That's the third hit off of Garvey. And now the tying run at second base. Pinch hitter now, Riley Duncan will hit for Kason Ludman.
Ludman got an at bat in the second inning, last inning, ground ball to third base. See what Riley Duncan does.
Good change there from Garvey, strike one. Ahead now 0-2.
That's a nice curveball or changeup, something with it is dropping down quite a bit, and giving the hitter some problems. See if he throws a fastball up out of the zone.
This is off the plate with that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Trying to protect this lead in the third.
Nickname O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And he strikes out. Tag applied to end the inning. Great job by Garvey protecting the 1-run advantage. 2 runners stranded. We're through 3. It's Oregon 1, Alaska nothing, as we roll through the Northwest region here at Al Houghton Stadium. Welcome back to San Bernardino. Little leaguers that took it to another level in a different sport. How about quarterbacks? Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady had the Little League experience. Doug Flutie, all 5'9"3/4 of them. Did it at Boston College and then the NFL, and then, of course, John Elway. How about that group of Little Leaguers that went on to become great NFL quarterbacks? And, of course, you were a Little Leaguer. You took it to the major league level. But it's great to see the alums, and we're going to talk to some of them throughout this regional, talk about their Little League experiences.
Well, Aaron Rodgers just looked like he did with a helmet on, didn't he? He just had that smug look like, you know what, I'm going to beat you right now. I'm just going to get over this picture.
Well, the recap in this one, it has been a pitcher's duel. The only run scored back in the first inning. Alex Ingalls, a fortuitous hop. And that scored a run, bringing in Simpson, but defense has been a big story for both teams.
Well, here's a nice line drive right at the shortstop. I love this calm, cool of Adarujo. And that one, little miscommunication on how many outs there were for Zane Garvey. Fired it to second base looking for a double play, and then looking at his shortstop going, why didn't you throw it?
1 run, 1 hit for Oregon. That's been enough to fashion this lead. No runs, 3 hits for Alaska. And Caleb Campbell and Zane Garvey have looked calm, cool, and collected considering this is the first game of this Northwest region.
Yeah, they've each, had one hitter or two that they've struggled with and walked. But for the most part, they've been in pretty good command of themselves, the nervousness. It's a 1-0 game. I hope it's not decided on a bad hop over first baseman's head. But both of these pitchers have gone out throwing strikes. They both have good off-speed pitches that they're using a lot and keeping everybody off balance.
Well, it's going to be hot today, and of course the sunbrellas are out. A little hydration going on, and all volunteer umpires out there and the rest of the crew here putting in the hours in the heat, and we have an elongated break at the end of each third inning here in West Region, Northwest Region play, and they've taken that extra time to hydrate, get the batteries recharged, and get back out there on the field.
Well, it's getting close to 100 degrees. The umpires are in a nice, comfortable black shirt with a black hat. You wouldn't mind seeing them pull out maybe the light blue something just to take a little bit of the sun rays off of them. But
they are the guys in blue after all, right?
Yeah, so, but what do I know? Hey, if you guys want to wear black today, go for it. I'm going to sit up in the booth.
They do a great job out there. Remember, all volunteers, and they love the game, obviously, and have to make some tough calls. I mean, we've already seen a couple reviews of plays. A lot of them happen on bang-bang plays at first base, but the main thing is to get it right, as long as it takes.
As long as it takes, get it right, and these guys have done a great job, and to be sitting out here in 100 degrees in slacks and a black shirt, I don't mind giving them 3 minutes off to grab a drink of water. It gave me time to go get a funnel cake.
And, of course, the players have that break between innings where they can go to the dugout, but the umpires don't have that luxury, so by giving them the elongated break at the end of 3, that gives them a chance to get reset.
No, I think it's a great idea. It's hot out here. It's steamy. They have to water the infield quite a bit to keep it this beautiful. Same with the outfield. So the water comes up, and it's just kind of a steamy, hot feel down on the field. And you can't get away from it until you go sit in the dugout, and they're playing with the Dragon probably.
Yeah, the lucky Red Dragon, yeah. The Alaska team.
Tomato Mo. Aruzo moves behind the plate. Looks like Baxter goes out to shortstop. I like that. I'm sorry, it's 100 degrees. If you got a couple guys that can catch.
Alex Ingalls leading off this inning. By the way, the elongated break for the umpires at the end of the third inning in games 2 and 3. We have 4 games today. That'll be the case every day. 1 and 2 now to Ingalls, who drove in that run with the single over the first baseman's head.
You don't get that bounce if you're not wearing the same underwear every game.
That's his
good
luck charm.
Yep. See if it works again right here.
Lays off of that one.
Campbell's got a little assortment of change-up, either a curveball or a soft change-up. He's got a cutter. And here comes a 68-mile-an-hour fastball. Nope, I guess
that's
wrong.
A base hit just over the outstretched glove of Baxter and into left field. So Ingalls is 2 for 2.
All right, there might be something to this underwear thing, Trey.
Well, he shows he can take it oppo, and he can take it to left field as well. A complete hitter, and he's been their cleanup guy this year.
Yep, gets this one off the end of the bat a little bit, but good stroke and just over Thomas Baxter's head. He's a little bit frustrated. I think we might have made a couple of these moves, switching catcher and shortstop, because Little League Baseball has a rule that you cannot catch 4 straight innings and come in and pitch. So now we are seeing why that move was, because you don't want Thomas Baxter back there, and I think they'd had this plan. Pitch County kept him under 50, so he'll be able to come back in 3 days. And that would be Caleb Campbell that I'm talking about. And Thomas Baxter moves from catcher to shortstop to pitcher in all of about 2 outs.
You want to play Little League in your local community? Visit playlittleleague.org and enter your address to find a Little League program near you. So a pivotal point in this one, a 1-0 game, top of the fourth. You mentioned Baxter to the mound now, and we'll have to get this sorted out. With Arujo behind the plate. Campbell at short.
I don't know if Nelson went to shortstop and then Campbell went to third. They're in a pile over at shortstop right now talking about probably Fortnite and what they had for breakfast. And I just love that. I love the Little League thing where these guys can just disengage from these situations, you know, and then re-engage and get back into it.
So you've got Krupe playing shortstop with Baxter on the mound and Arujo behind the dish.
Well, the interesting theory here is you take out your pitcher, save him for 3 days, and you can bring him back. And it's hard to keep all your pitchers fresh in these tournaments because you're going to be running so many games in so many days. And I like the idea. It's almost 100 degrees. Guys wear out. And we talked about the food poisoning that Alaska was dealing with coming out of their state championship. I'm sure that might be a little bit of a factor with the catcher, pitcher, shortstop all switching positions.
Yeah, Lockhart now playing second. Here's Elam Young batting now after that Ingles single. All right, your top of the fourth. Do you venture into small ball territory here? Get that runner down to second base. Get that insurance run. He's swinging away.
So there's your answer, Trey. No.
It's a quick. You didn't even have to answer that one. Young has good speed, but he's not looking to bunt this one.
Well, I mean, third baseman's back, and that would be Caleb Campbell. He's playing back. I mean, it's open for a bunt. You get the runner over, or you just let it play out and let your studs go play. You know, you were an undefeated T-ball coach. You know, I mean, what would you be moving right now? You letting your studs play, or are you going to play small ball with them?
I'd let the players play.
There you go.
The Murray Hill Little Leaguers have been hot. They put together a big winning streak en route to their state title. There's a good swing, fouled straight back. Will one run be enough, though?
Oh, I don't think anybody's playing for that this game's going to end at 1-0. And like I said, I hope it does not, because that one hop over Quinto's head be the deciding factor. Would be a shame.
Young would like to at least advance that runner here to second somehow, some way.
Well, Baxter, it's an interesting theory. You have a 2-2 count, and a lot of people believe in the theory of throwing the same pitch that you would throw on 3-2.
He loses Young here, goes inside and misses and walks him.
So Baxter in the big pitch count there was 2-2. He threw a breaking ball, a changeup, something off speed and missed, and then came back with a fastball and just missed. You know, it's tough as a pitcher to sit there and just throw different pitches every pitch. You get more of a rhythm with a pitch when you duplicate or double it up.
Now it's Zane Garvey. Now you maybe think about laying one down, no? There's a strike on the corner.
Well, you know, this is Zane's first at bat. Boggs hit for him in the second inning. So this is the first time we've seen Zane Garvey at the plate. I'd be surprised if he lays down a bunt.
Swinging away, good cut. A little bit late, 0-2.
I mean, they're following your pattern as a T-ball coach. You let your guys play. You know, they're out here for a reason. They're all-stars for a reason. You know, you don't want them up there trying to sack bunt, doing something that maybe they're not good at.
Yeah, ideally, you'd like to pull this ball to the right side of the infield here. Here's the 0-2. And he does pull it, and it rolls foul over the chalk. Good speed on the base pass with Ingles and Young out there.
Well, the fun thing right now is in Little League, you know, they can't take off until the ball crosses home plate. You know, you're talking about doing something. Well, you can't have them steal because they're stealing right when the catcher's got the ball in his glove.
And there's a wild pitch. That's back to the backstop. Throw down to third, and it's through the glove of the third baseman, Nelson. Everybody's safe. So Ingles and Young move up with nobody out.
Well, that fastball just got away. Aruzo wasn't able to get a glove on it, hit the backstop quick, and he's got a great arm behind the plate, came up and fired a dart over to first base or third base, and Caleb Campbell just wasn't able to catch it.
Strike 3 called on the corner. Garvey caught looking. That's out number 1. And that makes that wild pitch that much more important here in the 4th.
Well, we only got one guy left to see right now for Oregon.
We're going to see him right here.
We can see Johnny Berrigan. I think we are. Johnny Berrigan comes to the plate, hitting for Carson Rieg.
So again, a pinch hitter in a big spot. Johnny Berrigan can bring a couple home with a single. Well liked by his teammates. He performs well in pressure situations, and here's JB getting a few words here before his at-bat.
Now that's a nickname I can get behind right there. You know, easily explained. I'm still, you know, the O'Reilly Auto Parts last inning.
You know, sometimes keeping it simple.
Keep it simple.
The way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to respect that.
You're TB, I can be Ole.
He's actually Johnny Berrigan the 4th, but he likes to keep it simple. Chance to drive a couple runs in.
Fastball up out of the zone. Thomas Baxter can relax a little bit. He still has an open base. Corners are partially in. It almost looks like they're conceding the run to Oregon here, trying to get the out.
His superstition, he feels if he doesn't wear his batting gloves at the plate, he might strike out. He's got them on right now.
So you can see the corners, first and third base, are partially in. They're going to try to make a play at the plate. Infield's back, and they're trying to save that other run from scoring. If you bring the infield in, it's tough to defend a whole lot of ground on a ground ball, and you tend to end up giving up both runs instead of just one. So right now, Alaska's trying just to get out of this with one run and keep it, you know, at 2-0.
2-2.
Well, I don't know whatever Thomas Baxter just conjured up right there, but that went from 63 to 67. I'm going to try to throw that one again.
See if he can dig deep again. Here's a 2-2 offering. Fastball blows it by him, and he strikes out Johnny Berrigan.
He actually dialed it up another notch and went to 68. I love that. Time to go. You know what? I got to pull a little bit more out of myself than I usually do. I pitch at 63, 64, and the last two pitches go 67, 68. Let's not be shocked if we see a couple more of those right here.
Now Christian Neely with 2 down. Slow roller, backhanded by the pitcher. Baxter to first to end the inning. Great job by Baxter in relief, and nothing across.
Well, Thomas Baxter, first pitch fastball, runners on second and third. I'm going to take care of this myself. Dives to his right, backhand play, pops up to a knee, perfect throw. Great job of relieving. Oregon still 1, Alaska nothing in a great pitcher's duel.
Bottom of the fourth, and the pitchers' duel continues. Oregon leading Alaska 1-0. Game 1, Northwest Region play from San Bernardino. The Gastineau Channel Little Leaguers from Juneau against the Murray Hill Little Leaguers from Beaverton. And it's been good pitching so far. We've seen Caleb Campbell and Zane Garvey as the starters. Baxter came in relief of Campbell, but Garvey's gone all the way, and he'll try to protect this one-run lead again. He worked out of a jam in the last inning.
Well, you can see him out there trying to keep his arm loose. I don't know what we got going on right now, but every pitcher does a little something different to kind of wiggle things out, keep it going.
Esteban Demert is going to see his first at-bat as we open up the bottom of the fourth inning. Ball one. You've got Hicks now catching.
Woods at second base.
Yep, for Neely.
Neely's out in right field.
And that's where Hicks left to go to catcher.
And welcome to the game, Mr. Hicks. Foul ball straight off the forehead. That'll wake you up.
Well, this is one of those games where we could see some dramatics in the final inning, the sixth inning. A one-run game. Demert, a high chopper. Shortstop Gustafson with a throw. It's on the money, one down.
Nice play. I talked about it earlier. The front of home plate is getting baked in the heat. And so any ground ball is going to bounce high, come off it hard, harder than it was hit probably. And so Gustafson gets a one-hop chop, attacks it, and then makes a perfect throw over to first base and played it perfectly. He couldn't sit back on it.
Now Antone Aruzo, infield single his first time up. The opposing shortstop.
Now he's a catcher.
Now the catcher.
Now the catcher. Likes the Patriots. He'd probably be happy to know that Belichick played Little League Baseball.
Tom Brady.
Who?
No, that's behind Arujo.
And now you get the chance from the dugout. Take it for the team. We got ice. I don't know what that was from Zane Garvey. He's been in pretty good control with his off speed. Little curveball, change up, and then a 57-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's laced into right field, a base hit, a one-hopper to Neely, the right fielder. And Arujo is on board for the second straight time. He's 2 for 2.
He got a fastball up and away and just hits a missile out to Christian Neely out in right field. And he did a nice job of making sure that he kept the ball in front of him because this ball was well hit. And if he doesn't catch this square on the hop, that ball's going back to the fence.
And some words for Garvey. He's not a power pitcher, only has one strikeout, but he's done a great job getting the ground ball out today.
Well, it looks like we're going to have Alex Ingalls.
And make a move here.
They kept him under the 50 pitch limit because he started the hitter before 50 pitches, which means he can come back in 3 days. And so we're seeing both teams playing the pitch count game, and it's an interesting theory. You know, I've coached a bunch of Little League where, you know, you're worried about guys being able to come back, and I got somebody pitching so well as Zane Garvey, I'd have a hard time taking him out because this is Little League baseball, it's not Major League Baseball. You don't know exactly what Alex Ingalls is bringing into the game today, you know.
And here's the pitching eligibility. We took a look at this earlier. You see the pitch count there. He'll need.
He can come back in 3 days. He's got 2 days off, so as of Wednesday, he can pitch again. You know, because he started the at bat at 47, 48,
yeah.
And then it carried him over 50. But that's the way the rules in Little League work. wherever you start the hitter is your pitch count.
Sam Lockhart now batting in the 8th spot in the order for Alaska. 1 out and 1 on. Bounced up there, and taking second is Arujo.
Well, that's a little bit what I talked about. You know, you got a guy that's throwing really well, and Alex Ingalls is walking into a situation, runner on. You know, now he's got the nerves that Zane Garvey started the game with, and he's got to find his way to work it out, and you just hope that, you know, there's not too much damage by the time that he settles in.
One of the veterans, 13 years old. Garvey took his spot playing third base now. Pitch to Lockhart is upstairs. Tying run at second. Alaska has hung in there thanks to solid pitching from Campbell and Baxter. Now they need their offense to step up. Ball 4.
Well, with a wild pitch, you have an open base. You got 1 out. You're double play away from walking out of the inning. You know, not a big deal. You know, now it becomes a big deal. He needs to settle in a little bit, and I wouldn't mind Zane Garvey walking over going, hey, Alex, we got this, or they call him Al. Hey, Al, come on now. We got this. Give me a ground ball, touch third, get a double play.
Now Ezra Vidal with his first at-bat. Oliver hit in his spot in the order, the 9th spot in the order, back in the 2nd inning. That one goes back to the backstop. Runners move up to 2nd and 3rd. Now you're in a really good spot if you're Alaska. The force play not in order. You've got the go-ahead run at second base.
Right now, you are Alaska. You are hoping Ezra Vidal is able just to hit a ground ball somewhere. The corners are in. First base is back a little bit. Just find a way to put a ball in play somewhere, and you're going to get an RBI.
Arujo representing the tying run at 3rd. Lockhart, the go-ahead run at 2nd.
Well, Alaska's been known for dramatic suicide squeezes, Trey. What do you got?
Well, they're going to swing away here 2-2. Yeah, they have had the flair for the dramatic. They're one of those teams. They love the pressure situations, and Big E is in one right here. Did he offer? Here's a play at the plate. Out at home plate. Arujo tried to take home, and they get him. Out number 2.
That was a bang play. Nice job by Hicks behind the plate. Knocks the ball down. It's way outside. Knocks it down. Comes up. Has the presence to realize that if I toss this, he's probably going to be safe. And it looked like he got that glove right out in front of home plate and blocked the slide.
Lockhart moves to 3rd with 2 down.
Man, you got to love that football mode right there that Alex Hicks just went into. You know, you got a guy bearing full down, right on home plate, going to slide, and you're diving in front of him.
It's like the middle linebacker plugging the hole there.
Exactly. He just stuck his nose right in it and said, let's go. Let's see if we got a review. This is very unusual for Little League Baseball, and only in the regionals and the World Series do they have the opportunity to review plays.
And they're going to come in and talk this over.
This is the only part I don't understand, because they're going to talk it over right now, and then they're going to walk back and go review it. So like I was saying, all these guys go throughout the whole year of coaching Little League, and they have no reviews because there's no TV. And now in regionals and the World Series, we have reviews. So we're going to go back. Tags on base paths are reviewable, missed bases, hit batters. I love the additional plays because that, for me, covers everything.
Right.
I can walk out there and go, this is an additional play. I want to review it.
Right. Well, it's a big call. It appeared, and you mentioned it, that Hicks got that glove in front of the plate before the cleat slid in there. We're going to get a great view here from our camera people at the ballpark. Here it is.
And here's what's the best thing about Alex Hicks. He gets that other hand, the bare hand, he gets that on top of the ball. I mean, you cannot teach that. That is just perfect. He doesn't dive out there, which, you know, would get the glove out there by itself and the ball can get kicked out. he's got enough foresight to dive and get the other hand on top of the ball to make sure it's a secure tag. And that's textbook perfect. You know, we've had some Buster Posey fans roaming around here. Buster would be proud of this. What do you got, Trey? You're 0 for 1 today. I'll give you another chance.
Well, you know, the call on the field's an out. The only question is, did he get the cleat to that corner, the black part of the plate, before the glove came in?
I don't think we're going to have enough to overturn.
No, this is going to stand, and we're going to get the confirmation right here. A great play by Hicks to get them the second out. There will be a runner at third here with 2 down. Here it is. Ralph Metz with the confirmation.
I like how Ralph waited for everybody to break up the huddle so they'd look at him so he could give him the out. And those guys were talking about Fortnite and eliminating things and running all over the place.
Well, that's a huge second out, and now Vidal batting with a full count and 2 down with a runner at third.
Yeah, that's a big demoralizer for the Alaska side. They got second and third, 1 out. We're checking to make sure that the count is 3-2. Ralph Metz is going to have another meeting just to make sure, because the scoreboard says it's 2-2.
Now, you've got Hicks now. He's not out of the woods here. He still has to protect this lead with that runner at third base. Spotlight still on number 23.
Well, yeah, here's where Alex Ingalls on the mound has to, pull it together, because we've had a 3, 4, 5 minute break. The whole team's out at second base right now, and I am sure it looks like I don't know what just happened, Trey.
We just had the home plate umpire put 3 fingers in the air, which is 3 outs. So we'll get you up to speed on what's going on here. We're through 4. Oregon leading Alaska 1-0. One 1-0 Oregon still leads Alaska as we go to the 5th. Wrapping up that bottom half of the 4th inning with Ezra Vidal at the plate. They ruled it was a check swing strike 3. They said he offered on this, and that's
Ouch.
a 3rd out.
No, I'm not giving that to him. I didn't see the appeal. Definitely the ball was dropped, so if it would have been appealed or anything else, he would have had a chance to run. And then probably he would have been safe with the dive here at home plate. So that's just an unfortunate break for Alaska.
So the tag at the plate out number 2, and then they appealed the check swing, and they ruled it strike 3, and that gets them out of the inning. So it's 1-0 as we go to the 5th. Baxter will go to work facing Hicks, the number 9 hitter for Oregon.
And then we go back to whoever makes a great play has to bat first in the next inning, and Hicks just made a great play, and here he is batting first.
How about a 1-0 lead despite only getting 2 hits in this game? Oregon has found a way thanks to the fortuitous hop in the first inning.
Yeah,
the RBI single.
Been a very well-pitched game by both sides.
3-0 to Hicks.
Now, here's what happens in baseball, and it happens all the way through the major leagues, is some play happens, and that last one was deflating for Alaska. You know, Thomas Baxter has to take it on himself, and he's got to get over the emotions of what just happened. Runners on second and third, chance to take the lead. You know, bang, bang, play at home plate, review. All of a sudden there's an appeal, check swing. You're out. Now you're going back out to pitch, and he's probably still sitting there going, well, wait, what just happened?
It benefits you to have a short-term memory, very short-term.
Yeah, but nobody has that short of a memory. He just threw 6, 7 warm-up pitches, and he's back out there, and he's still caught up going, we had a chance to take the lead. What happened here? So he needs to pull it together, and I think that was a great mound visit by Aruzo.
And there's ball 4. Hicks is on to open up the inning. Well, Hicks has put his imprint on this one with some defense and then a good job to lead off this inning. Now it's the top of the order, Aaron Ray Simpson.
Simpson walked in his first at bat and has scored the game's only run. Very quick and athletic center fielder. Now, hypothetically, Trey, I might think about bunting.
And you can bunt for a hit as well with the speed at the plate right now.
And he puts a one sock inside. Where do these guys get these superstitions?
There's no superstitions in baseball. There's a strike on the corner.
I mean, I've never even thought of that. That had to be an accident, and he probably got 4 hits one game, and he was just didn't figure out that his sock was inside out until after the game, and he's like, I got to do this forever now.
Here's the 0-2. That misses.
You know, I can see one of the socks is different. It's a little furrier, so it's inside out. I think it's his left leg.
Fastball, late swing, and that was inside. It jammed him, fouls it off. Great athlete, you mentioned it. Not only does he play baseball competitively, football, basketball, and track as well.
Well, we've seen him run. See if he can fight off a couple pitches. Thomas Baxter.
Nope, cut the corner, strike 3.
Good pitch. Nice way to regroup by Thomas Baxter. Comes back and throws a really nice pitch right there. Fastball away. Great location. And I am not quite sure what Aaron Simpson was looking for right there. But maybe he had the wrong sock inside out.
That was strikeout number 3, and now it's Kellen Wood. Now, is that a superstition to eat a sandwich before a game? I think that's just being smart, right? Get something in your system.
It's smart, and it can be your superstition. I mean, if you got to do it every day, you know, I got to have a peanut butter and jelly every single day before a game. Yeah.
I mean, I got to breathe and drink water. That's not really a superstition for me. You got to eat, right?
I got to eat. Yeah, so, I mean, I've been eating the whole game. He only has a sandwich before the game.
Both of these teams leaning on those superstitions. You can't fault them. They're state champs. They've had great seasons. Whatever works. Fastball, chase one high and away, and that's out number 2.
Kellen Wood did not get cheated on that fastball. He was trying to hit that one out in the vintage car lot out in left center. I mean, he went at it. He saw his pitch, and it was just a little bit more than he thought it was, and he came unglued. But tip of my cap to Thomas Baxter for pulling it together after the leadoff walk, after I'll call it a disaster ending last inning.
Yeah, Campbell was really good as a starter. Baxter's had good moments with 4 strikeouts in relief here. And they've shown that they have a couple quality guys they can throw out there.
Yeah, no, but Velasquez looked really good. They just haven't been able to put enough together on the offensive side to muster one run across.
2 down with Hicks at first base. And Gunnar Gustafson at the plate. Off speed in there.
Thomas Baxter goes from a 48-mile-an-hour changeup, and here's probably going to be a 63-mile-an-hour fastball, and the speed difference is just really difficult. And I love the fact now that was a 54-mile-an-hour breaking ball. I love the variance of speeds. It gives hitters nightmares.
Changes it up. It's in there, 1-2. Come back with fastball here.
I would like to see a fastball, yes. Preferably up out of the zone. See if Aruzo gives him a good high target.
Strike three called. Paints the edge with a beauty. Strikes out the side. The walk given up to Hicks in 3 straight Ks. He has 5 for the game. Still a 1-0 game. Oregon in front. Game 1 in the Northwest Regional. One 0 Oregon in front of Alaska, bottom of the 5th in San Bernardino at Al Houghton Stadium. Northwest Regional play is underway. Looking for training and info for coaches, umpires, league volunteers, and parents? Get free backyard tips, practice plans, drills, videos, and more. Visit littleleagueuniversity.org today. Well, I'm next to a guy that had a great career as a major league closer, Greg Olson. I know you like pitchers' duels. We've seen a pretty good effort from these two teams from a pitching perspective. Good defense to go along with it.
No, it's been a great game to watch. These guys have mixed up their off-speed pitches, gotten ahead. We've only seen a couple walks, and they're letting the game play. They're getting ahead and getting people out.
Alex Ingalls' second inning of work in relief of Zane Garvey will face Kean Buss, the top of the order for Alaska. In at third, charging there was Garvey. Strike one.
I'm still kind of in shock how far Garvey got down the line right there. If he had pulled back and swung.
Swings this time and drives it into the gap in right center field. Past the diving Simpson, it runs all the way to the fence. Rounding second, Buss on his way to third, in there with a triple.
Kean Buss shows bunt, takes a strike. You know, great typical baseball move. Leadoff guy, take a strike, you know, try to get ahead in the count. And here he gets a fastball elevated in the zone, squares it up. Simpson takes a little bit of an angle, a little shallow, and wasn't able to run it down, and Buss is at third base with the tying run.
Eli Krupe now with nobody out. Inside ball one.
Krupe's walked, and he's got a single up the middle.
Good job by Hicks behind the dish, backhanding that one.
We got the corners are in to cut off the run at the plate. Infield is back. Middle infield is back. So Krupe can hit a ground ball to shortstop. He will get an RBI, and it will be about the easiest thing he could do today. Now, getting a ground ball to shortstop's not that easy,
right.
But my point being, you hit a ground ball past the pitcher up the middle, you have an RBI and your game's tied.
Well, they've had their chances. They've stranded 5 in this one, trying to produce a run for the first time. Here's the 2-0. 3-0 now. This is the meat of the order. Krupe, the number 2 hitter. Campbell's on deck, and then Baxter to follow. Three and 1.
Well, that was a called take from the coach. Let's see another pitch. You're still going to get a good pitch to hit on 3 and 1. See if maybe we can get the winning run over at first base with a walk.
Full count now.
All right, now pressure square on Eli Krupe. He needs to put this ball in place somewhere on the ground. Alex Engel seems to have found his zone again.
Payoff pitch. He did not offer. It's ball 4 low and runners on the corners, and there is the go-ahead run now at first base.
That almost looked like the same check swing that Vidal was called out on. I was going to be curious to see if it's too late now. The ball bounced, and he's at safe at first base. Catcher's looking down to see if there's an appeal.
Well, here's the star hitter for the Juneau Gastineau Channel Little Leaguers, Caleb Campbell. He's 0 for 2 today, but he's a power guy, has hit for average throughout the year, and a big opportunity with a couple runners on board. Rips it right at the shortstop, throw to third, and they get the double play. Now safe, the ball dropped. It looked like a double play. The ball dropped as Gustafson makes the catch.
Here it is again. Picks it right off the ground. Ooh, well, the foot was on the bag before the tag. I don't know if the third base umpire had the sight to see that it was caught in the air, David DeRosa, but right now he called it as a tag play. When the ball came up and dropped out as he showed it to him, and that would be Zane Garvey, the ball dropped out, so automatically he's safe. But Zane Garvey got a foot on the bag, and it's a force out at third base because of the line drive.
Yeah,
So if they appeal this could be another disaster for Alaska.
And I don't see an appeal here. The line drive out, it looked like potential double up, but no. So runners at first and third, 1 out, and here's Thomas Baxter now. And that bounces away from the catcher. Moving up to second is Krupe.
Well, Gustafson did a nice job. Recognized he came up and was getting ready to throw to first base, then recognized that the runner at third was way off, came up and fired over there, and Garvey thought it was a tag play. And so when he came up to show the ball, it just dropped out, and just an unfortunate break for Oregon, and now the tying run is still at third base.
Baxter can give him the lead here. Fastball for a strike, 2-1. Krupe good speed at second, Buss at third. Ground ball, base hit center field. Buss scores, Krupe rounds third, coming to the plate, he scores standing up, 2-1. Alaska takes the lead.
You can see the Alaska fans going nuts. Alaska's on the board. Thomas Baxter gets a fastball away. Hit a hard line drive in his last at bat in the third inning, gets a fastball away. It's a hard ground ball up the middle. Simpson has to field it too deep in the outfield to even have a play at Krupe at home plate.
Clutch hitting from the cleanup man. And Alaska finally breaking through after stranding 5 prior to this inning. 2-run single from Thomas Baxter. They've out-hit Oregon 5-2 in this one. And they could have hung their heads after some things went south for them in that last inning.
The Oregon coach coming to home plate, umpire Ralph Metz. I am not sure if he's going to make a substitution.
August Mazzo. Ludman is scheduled to hit here in the 5th spot in the order.
Well, they're bringing Alex Ingalls in. Kellen Hicks is going to go switch out of the catcher's gear. I think that might keep Alex Ingalls under 20 pitches.
Yeah, he's done.
Might be the theory on this. He's at 22 right now.
So you preserve Garvey, you preserve Ingalls in terms of the big picture in this regional. And let's see what they have to do in terms of the new pitcher here.
Well, but right now you're down 1 run. You got 3 outs left to get.
It's going to be Ben Carlton, and we'll take a break. Pitching change here in San Bernardino. Alaska now in front 2-1. We're back with more here in the bottom of the 5th. Ben Carlton is the new pitcher for this Oregon team, now trailing for the first time, 2-1 bottom of the 5th inning. It was Garvey, Ingalls, and now Carlton gets the call with 1 out in this 1-run game, 2 runs across in this inning. Going back to the last inning, that what we thought was a double play, you can't appeal a transfer, and that's supposedly what the coach shied away from. But it could have been a force play that they didn't appeal. Therefore, it was only a single out, not a double play in that last inning. Getting us up to speed on all of that, as Ludman is now the hitter with a runner on and 1 out for Alaska, trying to add to this advantage.
Well, they can't see that Zane Garvey actually stepped on the bag to make the tag, and it was a force out due to the line drive to shortstop Gustafson. And so you would think, okay, I can't review the transfer. Technically, that's a transfer. On the tag, you're transferring it out of the glove to your hand to show the umpire, and it fell out.
And Alaska now a chance to get a little insurance here in the bottom of the 5th. Again, 6 innings is regulation Little League. And a huge 2-run single for Baxter, who's now standing at first base. Strike 3 call. Ludman can't believe the call. And that's out number 2.
Well, Ben Carlton comes in, throwing strikes, changes speeds, and here's a fastball on the outside corner of the plate. Alex Ingalls holds the frame. That looked like a pretty good pitch.
Now Caden Quinto is up at the dish ready to swing it with 2 out and 1 on. Oregon getting a run in the first, 2 runs in the 5th here for Alaska to take the lead for the first time.
These coaches have to be so well organized with all the substitutions and the rules and who's playing where and who's substituted for who. And you have to be so on top of it, because if you make one little screw up, you got a chance to forfeit your game. And so if one of these players doesn't get in the game, and right now we have, by my math, 7 outs left in the game, hypothetically. If you don't get everybody substituted and the amount of defensive innings and the at-bats, then it's a forfeit. So, tip of my cap to these coaches out here that are so organized. I was always the bench coach. I let somebody else do this stuff.
Sometimes that can be a good move. It worked out for you pretty well.
Yeah, I just sit on the bench.
Well, you know, with Alaska being the home team now, they're now 3 outs away, because Oregon will have their at-bats in the top half of the 6th inning. This game is turned on a dime here in the 5th. Big 2-run frame thanks to Thomas Baxter.
Well, he came in, did a great job pitching, and now he's over at first base. I'm going to be kind of surprised if he tries to do anything steal-wise. He's your pitcher. You know, you don't want him sliding, doing something. He's been throwing well. I've seen many pitchers in the National League that 3-2, 2 outs, take off stealing and physically exhausted after a couple foul balls.
And there's strike 3. Quinto caught looking, and that'll end the inning. But 2 runs across for Alaska in the bottom half of the 5th. We go to the 6th. It could be the last chance for Oregon. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up. Alaska trying to win it, up by a run. Alaska has a lead for the first time. Opening round play, Northwest Regional. This is game 1 today. 4 games total today, 2 in the West Region, 2 in the Northwest Region in San Bernardino. And we talked about how it's going to be hot throughout the week, over 100 degrees here in San Bernardino. The guys in Wyoming and in Alaska don't feel these kind of conditions, as you see the Gillette Little Leaguers looking on. But we'll be, I think, 110 tomorrow. Here's where we are at 95. And look at it in Juneau, a comfortable 64 right now.
I would rather be in Juneau right now. 95 degrees here, steamy. What'd you call those, sunbrellas all over the place?
Are everywhere, yep. But how about these Juneau kids battling back from the deficit, finally getting some runs across. And a chance to win it here. Ingles, first pitch swinging right into the glove of the shortstop, Krupe. 1 down.
Well, we have new pitcher Antone Arujo. First pitch, line drive, Eli Krupe. Dun-dun-dun. Attaboy. Great play.
Groupie playing Arujo's original position. He started the game at shortstop. Get some help from Krupe there, and here's Elam Young now with one down. Tell you what, how about the defense here in the second game we've seen today?
Well, it's been well played. You know, we talked about the nervousness and the edge, and it usually carries over to the defensive side as much as it does to the pitching.
Big cut from Young.
But we haven't seen any of that today. It's been solid defense, good plays. And neither one of these teams has deserved anything by beating themselves.
Alaska has out-hit Oregon 6-2 in this one. Antone Arujo trying to close the door here, get a victory in game one. Off speed, misses inside.
That was a good off speed. Thomas Baxter, it was so good Thomas Baxter had trouble catching it.
Young is grounded out, and he has walked thus far.
Let's see if he can hit a ground ball to the shortstop and leg it out with his speed.
Chases one high and away, 2-2.
Arujo's fastball looks a lot harder than 64. Comes from a low arm angle.
Full count.
Again, I'd like to see Thomas Baxter hold that ball a little bit longer and see if maybe we can get a call on a frame. But just like he pitches, he works fast, gets the ball back to the pitcher.
Payoff pitch, fastball, bouncing ball, shortstop. Krupe at the bag, throws to first, in time. 2 down. Quinto kept his foot on the bag, and they're 1 out away.
Well, we got the ground ball to shortstop, but the ball, routine ground ball to shortstop, and Krupe just made it look easy. Knew he had to rush. Young can run. See him right there come across the bag, square himself up, and make a perfect throw and beat him by half a step.
And now a pinch hitter here with 2 down. It's going to be Ryan Boggs getting the call.
Boggs batted in the second inning, had a ground ball to first base. He gets the duty of keeping Oregon alive.
Representing the tying run here in the top of the 6th. Oregon's only run scored in the first on an RBI single from Ingles. Arujo stepping off the rubber, getting his mind straight.
Well, the coach in the dugout was screaming at the right fielder Vidal, who was playing no doubles on the warning track out in right field. They wanted him to come down a little bit, where he might actually have a play at a ball into right field. He was out by the funnel cakes.
Probably ready to hit the concession stand, as many of us are, as we look at the snack shop down the line there.
Well, you've been gone about 3 innings. What are you talking about?
Here's the first offering, and it's fouled back by Boggs. No armband on the right arm. That's a superstition. He's going against it here.
Where is the armband? Oh, wow. It must have let him down in the first at bat, so I ain't going with it anymore. Huh.
Looking to keep the inning going. Here's the 1-1, and it hits Arujo. Arujo hits Boggs, and he's on here with 2 down.
We're going to see Arujo come over, shake hands. My bad, sorry. Love that. The finest parts of Little League baseball is the sportsmanship. And Arujo walked over, gave him a little dap, came up and in. Boggs was starting to swing. It looked like it might have got him in the arm and chest.
Well, now you've got the tying run at first base, represented by Ryan Boggs. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner.
Now Zane Garvey comes
Zane
back.
Garvey's out there, yeah.
Looks like Carson Reeg is back up to the plate. After Jim Berrigan the fourth, got an at bat in the fourth. So tying run at first base right now. Thomas Baxter needs to be a wall behind the plate, keep him from scoring position. Probably won't see any steals.
Carson Reeg takes a fastball on the outside corner, strike one. As a pitcher now, tunnel vision, right? Focus on this guy up here.
You got one guy to get. If that guy wants to try to steal, let him, hoping that Thomas Baxter throws him out. But my job is to get Carson Reeg out if I am on the mound right now.
Antone Arujo, the 1-1. Strike called. They're one strike away from winning this one.
Really good pitch. Russo settled down after hitting Boggs last at bat.
High with that one.
This was the hardest part for me right here, was to try to get that last out. You got everybody clapping, cheering, excited.
2-2, ground ball to the shortstop. Krupe takes it to the bag, unassisted in time to end it. Alaska hangs on 2-1 as they get the ground ball out to finish off Oregon.
Wow, that was a bang-bang play. Reeg puts a ground ball to shortstop, closer to second base. Krupe makes all three outs that inning. Gets a ground ball, stays down, recognizes he can beat him to the bag, and that is bang, bang.
Great middle infield play throughout this game, and number 9 just beat him.
Wow, that was a little too close for my comfort. If I'm sitting in the Alaska dugout or the Alaska stands, I'm flipping out a little bit.
Well, it's a team that had to deal with food poisoning after winning the Alaska State title. They had the long trip from Juneau, Alaska. They come from behind and they win it. 2-1 our final score. Thanks to Greg Olson, I'm Trey Bender saying so long for now from San Bernardino. All games airing on the ESPN Network, streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. 2 games in the books here at the Western Regional Complex in San Bernardino. More to come. Washington and Idaho Northwest Region play to follow. Stay with us. More coming from Al Houghton Stadium.